Hi, everyone. I'm going to talk about how Cornel West's lack of fiscal responsibility may hinder his campaign. But first, I want to review a few comments from my last live stream. Let's pull it up. Okay. So the first comment, your show popped up after watching a Sabby show. You might lose some, but you just gain one. I think it's great he wants to separate from the parties, but I also think the way he arrived at that decision was clumsy and is or will be what loses many votes. I'm one of those lost votes. I was looking it was looking like he had a shot at 5% had he stayed with the Green Party. What do you think about De La Cruz? Um, well, De La Cruz is running as an independent, so I don't know enough about her. There's not enough content about her on social media, so I don't have an opinion about De La Cruz. I don't really um think that running as an independent is a good idea because there is no continuity, and also you're not allowing people like me to run at on your ticket to actually get on the ballot. So if you're an independent, then your campaign basically is about you. It's over once your race is over. So I don't have an opinion about De La Cruz. I don't really I don't know. If she was a part of a party, that would make more sense because there would be more continuity. But um, yeah, I think that Cornel West's decision was very clumsy. I think he jumped from the Freedom Party to the Green Party. He clearly doesn't know anything about the way political parties function. He thought he was just going to jump in there and just start speaking to voters. No, they were going to give him $4 million, right? So they want something for it. You have to go around. You have to speak to the state. Uh, I don't know if the Green Party has delegates, but you have to speak to the state representatives, the counties. You have to help other people with their elections. You have to give them something, right? They're not giving you $4 million for nothing. And now he's complaining about the fact that his campaign doesn't have any money. So that makes no sense to me whatsoever. So let's go to the next comment. I wouldn't trust him to run my kitchen, let alone the country. He's more of a storytelling grandpa. Yeah, that's what I think. I mean, and this is the thing people don't understand that just because he's an intelligent man. He has a PhD in philosophy, right? So just because he's a public figure and just because he can give great speeches, that doesn't mean that he knows anything about politics. I think he's out of his depth. Um, I think that he's very naive, and a lot of people are naive, right? And I'm going to be addressing this in somebody else's comment that somebody said, "Who the hell are you?" But I'm going to address that. JC, you really laid this out well. Thank you. Prior to the Green Party, he hooked up with another group, which he had a falling out with as well. I like Cornell. I've met the man. He's out of his league in the political realm, just as you laid out for us. Thanks again. Well, he has a lot of great ideas, but he needs help. And he had help and he rejected it thinking I think he was arrogant to think that, oh, I can do this alone. You can't. You don't and I'm not trying to be insulting. I know that he is an intelligent man, but he doesn't know anything about politics. I think he's very naive. Reparations now for American descendants of ADOS reparations. I'm going to be addressing reparations. I have an article that I'm still trying to get through, and once I read it and take notes on it, I'm going to be doing a live stream. Hopefully, I'll be doing that tomorrow. I've been wanting to do more content, but I've been so busy with work, so I'm trying to get back into the algorithm. West is not a serious candidate. He could be a serious candidate. It's not too late. This is the reason why I'm doing this live stream because I'm not going to be arrogant enough to think that he actually watches this, but maybe somebody in his camp will see this and they can steer him in the right direction. How much of the Green Party is influenced by Israel and other lobbyists, and how independent are they in decision making? And there is no difference between all political parties. All in one are under the same financial influence of foreign lobbyists and corporate ones that. become the same. The great influence of foreigners on American political parties. No, that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. The Green Party is grassroots. They don't have corporate funding. They're not influenced by Israel. The Green Party is against the Israeli occupation. The Green Party, gosh, y'all, this is the reason why I'm doing these live streams, because a lot of y'all don't. I mean, the Green Party. The reason that y'all haven't heard about the Green Party is because they don't have a lot of money. They don't get advertising from the mainstream media. So you don't know, you haven't heard of. You would have to research it yourself, and most people don't do that. So no, they're not influenced by lobbyists. They don't have enough money to be doing that. I mean, they're only at $4 million. They're trying to get to 5 million. So they're not raising the big money that the Democrats and the Republicans are raising. Oh, and they also support reparations, which I'm not sure how people don't know that, but Jill Stein, it's part of if you look at the Green Party website, they support reparations. They have since 2012. And then someone said, if they support reparations, why don't they ever talk about it? Or they do campaign about it. They do campaign on this issue, and they do talk about it. I don't know what to tell you. If you don't research things, it's not their fault. I mean, this is the thing. Y'all will complain about how the Democrats and Republicans are so controlled by corporations, right? The reason that they have to raise so much money is so they can get advertising. And the reason that they have to get advertising is because you guys are not going to research anything for yourself. You're going to rely on the mainstream media to tell you how to think, how to vote. And because they don't raise this money, and because you're not going to research it, you're not going to hear about it. You're only going to hear about it on channels like mine and Sabby Sabs, right? You have to find this information. You have to go seek it. If you go to the ballot and do a straight party ticket, all Republican, all Democrat, and you don't take the time to research these candidates, you would really have no one to blame but yourself. Our political parties are vastly corrupt and have been for years. I think Cornel West is wise to separate from all parties. He is a wise man with a lot to offer. I can't begin to see how you consider him unfit to serve. Political parties cannot be the end all and be all, especially when they are crooked. See, you're talking about the two-party system. I mean, what evidence do you have that the Green Party is corrupt? The Green Party doesn't take these corporate donations. So I mean, they're not beholden to the same institutions as the Democrat and Republican. So just to make a blanket statement that all political parties are corrupt. So if you were to start a political party tomorrow, would you say that because you started a political party that you are inherently corrupt? That makes no sense whatsoever. This is a grassroots organization. And I can say personally, as someone who has run as a Green Party candidate, I'm not corrupt. I'm not corrupt. I mean, if I were to run as a Democrat, I would have to raise a whole lot of money and I would have to sell out, but I don't have to do that as a Green Party candidate. So, um, I would say you need to do more research. You probably don't know anything about the Green Party. Most people haven't. Um, but that's not their fault. That's really on you. If you're going to vote, you have the coercive power of the vote. We live in a quote unquote democracy, even though it's really a republic, that when you vote, you are actually controlling other people's lives. So you need to take your vote seriously. Don't just do it haphazardly. Just do a straight party ticket, all Democrats. No, that's an ignorant and lazy way to vote. Why are you still whining about the Green Party? They have a candidate already. If you don't like West, you have Jill and RFK. You can vote for it. Well, actually, I'm not whining. I'm giving people information because a lot of people don't know this stuff. And I'm telling you as someone who has managed 4 campaigns. And I'm not trying to be, brag or whatever, but I have a political science degree, a bachelor's degree in political science, a master's in public affairs, as well as a Juris Doctorate. So and like I said, I have managed 4 campaigns, so I know what I'm talking about. I'm not making this shit up. I'm not whining. As someone who has been through this, I learned firsthand how the political system works. So unless you have been through this, you don't really know how this stuff works. So I think that other people should be able to benefit from the information that I've learned. And I'm not saying that I know everything, but I know a lot more than the average voter because I've been through it. I've been a candidate. I've been interviewed by the local media. I've been on a statewide ballot. Um, no, I'm not whining. I wish Cornel West would go back to the Green Party before it's too late. He has until December 13th. I think he's making a mistake by running as an independent, and I'm going to be addressing why I think he's making a mistake. Reparations for descendants. I'm going to be addressing reparations from who taxpayers. No, it needs to be coming from the federal government. The federal government had a hand in slavery. The federal government um, legitimized slavery, right? This wasn't just some bootleg enterprise. The states and the federal government all had a hand in this, and they need to pay up. It, and I don't want to give it away, but yeah, reparations. You think that somebody's trying to take money from you? No, this is just compensation for unpaid labor. This is stolen labor. Um, just like you get inheritance from your family, we should get inheritance from our forefathers who worked for free. You know, but again, I'm going to be addressing the reparations issue later. From who taxpayers they had absolutely nothing to do with. See, you want to sit up here and play the victim, but everybody else have received reparations. The Japanese, Jews, um, and what did America? I don't want to get controversial, but what did America have to do with the Holocaust? Why are we still paying Israel billions of dollars every year for? It's basically reparations, even though we had nothing to do with the Holocaust, but we can't give reparations to the people who built this country. We give reparations to the Japanese, Native Americans. Everybody gets reparations except Black people. Don't be absurd. Don't be absurd is not an argument. Who the hell are you? This is what I was trying to say. So because I'm not a public figure, the fact that I went to school, the fact that I have campaign experience doesn't matter. You want to give deference to Cornel West just because he's a public figure. Cornel West may be a very educated man, but he doesn't know anything when it comes to politics. A degree in philosophy is not tantamount to political know-how. Um, you want to give deference to celebrities and public figures. That's the reason why the Black community is in the state that it's in now. So who the hell are you? This is the problem. You think that because somebody isn't a public figure, they don't have a right to express an opinion, to disagree with the mainstream media. Who am I? I am an American citizen. I'm a taxpayer. I have a right to express my view. If you don't like it, then you don't have to listen to this channel. But the same way I have a right to express my opinion, you have every right to express your opinion. Um, but you're too ignorant to even form an opinion because you want to give deference to political um, pundits and public figures and celebrities. You need to get more self-esteem. Who the hell are you? You are an American citizen and a taxpayer, I assume. So, yeah, you have every right to express your opinion, but to say who the hell are you that I'm supposed to just bow down to the status quo and I'm not supposed to disagree, and I'm an American citizen. I can vote, I can express my opinion. We still have the First Amendment. Um, Even though it's watered down and it's been curtailed, I have every right until they take our First Amendment away. I'm going to exercise it. You may be a dumb slave who doesn't believe in exercising your First Amendment rights, but I'm not. Please, the Green Party sucks. Then I said it sucks to support reparations and to be against the Israeli occupation. This is what this person said. They suck because they're under the thumb of the Democratic Party. How are they under the thumb of the Democratic Party? How could you explain the 2016 recounts? How do you explain running Russia, Gator, Howie Hawkins? How about Jill Stein bringing in Hill bot Democrat operative? Okay, here's the thing. And Jill Stein has already explained all of this. The reason that she brought in Peter Dow to help Cornel West is because he was a a Washington insider. He had experience with campaigning, like large scale campaigning, and she talked about this, how they have all these campaign secrets which most of us are not privy. Now, I was trying to figure out how to raise money, and they write books about it, but it's so vague. You basically have to have a lot of inside experience, and so I think Cornel West could have benefited from the fact that she brought Peter Dow. This was not a campaign manager. He was only a fundraiser. So you're going to reject help from someone who knows how to raise money? Um, the very fact that he even came to the Green Party to help Cornel West is going to be a blight on him, because he's basically going to be kicked out. Nobody's going to want to deal with him because he helped the Green Party. Um, Action speaks louder than words. Anyway, I thought there was more. Okay, maybe let's go down. Yeah, in that 2016 recount, Jill Stein didn't give money to Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton's campaign gave money to Jill Stein so that Jill Stein could challenge the election, right, to get a recount and try to disqualify Donald Trump. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but this was money that came from the Hillary Clinton campaign. Why was Hillary Clinton giving money to Jill Stein to challenge the re-election of to the election of Donald Trump? And then they want to whine when Donald Trump is a so-called insurrectionist, and they said that he was a threat to democracy. Um, the only difference between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton is that Donald Trump actually challenged the election directly, right? Hillary Clinton was a coward. She didn't challenge the election directly. She used Jill Stein to do it. Okay, now let's see if I have any comments. Nobody's here. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and get started with this video.
A much softer version of resistance. There's a lot of people that I'm hearing are resisting you and Jill Stein running separately. Obviously, you initially were running for the Green Party nomination. You switched to an independent. Dr. Stein, who ran a good campaign in 2016, is now running Green Party. Obviously, it's an uphill climb, whether you're Green Party or independent, running to try and make a dent. But a lot of people, including people watching now, feel like, why not join together rather than siphoning off those limited votes? I know you're a jazz man. Have you talked to Dr. Stein at all? And is there the potential of, whether it's back in the Green Party or in another way, of you two joining forces?
No, I mean, I don't see it, though. I mean, I was surprised that she actually announced, because, as you know, it was just a few months ago. She was interim campaign manager. This was the right candidate. We've got to all get behind Brother West. This is a historic moment, and so forth.
I don't know why he would be surprised. This has been her blood, sweat, and tears. She has been behind the Green Party since 2012. She ran in 2016, and she's worked very hard to build up the Green Party. And so she was trying to pass the baton on to Cornel West, but Cornel West didn't want to do it. So this is the thing. Jill Stein got 3% of the vote in 2016, which is, it may not seem a lot, but in 2012, she only received 0.4%. So she's gaining momentum, right? Why would she just defer to Cornel West when he's not a part of the Green Party? The thing is that when the Green Party is on the ballot, that's not ballot access only for the presidential election. That's also ballot access for those of us who would like to participate in the elections in the state and local, at the state and local level. So because Jill Stein is running, she's allowing me to run in state and local positions. Because Cornel West is running as an independent, he's not giving me that voice. He's not giving me that opportunity. So yeah, I'm glad that Jill Stein is running. I wish Cornel West was running, but he decided to drop the ball. and she had to pick up the slack at the last minute. If he had done this a little bit earlier, then maybe she wouldn't have to run. But he waited until the very last minute, and now he's complaining.
And then when I decided to go independent, it looked as if it was much more commitment to the party.
Yes, it is commitment to the party because she worked very hard to build up the party. On top of that, the Green Party had already raised $4 million to give to his campaign. So if she didn't run, that $4 million would have gone to waste. It's not like it carries over. No, that money has to go back. You can't just keep those campaign funds. You have to report that biannually, and you have to report what you did with it. So and I know this because I have managed campaigns, so I know how this stuff works. Now, like I said, Cornel West has a PhD in philosophy. I don't think he knows anything about politics. Just because you listen to somebody giving speeches, that doesn't mean that they know jack shit about politics.
Member to the Green Party than the particular vision that I was after. You see, I'm not convinced that the Green Party is the primary institutional vehicle for a mass-based campaign. I think it's proven over time it's just not a mass-based party.
Okay, now he's going to talk about how he's polling at 1 to 2%. Now Jill Stein polled at 3%. The thing is, if you get to 5%, then you're automatically eligible for $10 million in federal campaign funds. This is the reason why it would actually behoove him to pair up with Jill Stein, because Jill Stein is at 3%, at least according to the last race that she had. And he's between 1 to 2. So that would help the party to get to 5%. So they would get the $10 million. And also, if they get to $15 million, if they get to 15 million when it comes to polling, sorry, let me back. If they get to 15% in the polling, then that means that they are eligible to participate in national debate. So teaming up would actually make more sense, but he doesn't understand how politics works. Everything has to be strategic. This is not chess. This is not checkers. This is chess. You make strategic moves. It's not about feelings, and he doesn't understand this stuff. Okay, let me keep doing this. It is better option in this shit pit, and you are an anti-natalist. Yeah, well, I'm trying. I don't know. You know how that went, because the anti-natalist community is being taken over by vegans. So I don't know. I'm not good. On this channel, I may promote it every now and then, but it's pretty much a wrap because they're trying to equate anti-natalism with veganism, and I'm not a vegan. So let's continue with this.
And over again, it's been unable to convince the masses of folk that people ought to go their way. By masses of folk, I'm talking about Black folk, poor people, working people, brown people.
So basically, he doesn't want to build, right? That was his role. He was supposed to come in, and as the person on the top of the ticket, that was his responsibility to build the Green Party. He was supposed to bring Black voters to the Green Party, right? It's like they don't want to build. They just want to sit back and complain and say, because this, no type of foresight, no type of innovation. I mean, you were given $4 million. You could have done a lot with that. Just because a lot of Black people don't know about the Green Party, that doesn't mean that they won't support the Green Party. If you would have stayed on with the Green Party ticket, gosh, this is a complete lack of foresight, a lack of discernment. Yeah, this is really dreadful.
Indigenous people and so forth. And so I'm still funding.
Wait. I don't know. I think there are more Black people and more people of color, indigenous people running as candidates within the Green Party than any other party, more than the Democrats and Republicans. Um, I think the Green Party has given us a voice because we can get on a ballot and we don't have to raise a whole lot of money. So I don't know what he's talking about. The fact that black people don't know about the Green Party is not our fault. It's not the Green Party's fault. That's what you were supposed to do. You were supposed to be the party leader.
Fundamentally committed to a mass-based campaign, but the party, for me, in many ways, is much more of an obstacle.
Here's the thing. He doesn't want to do the work, right? The Green Party was going to give him $4 million. In exchange for that, all he had to do was go around and meet with the delegates, the chairs, and the Green Party leadership. And he didn't even want to do that. Who's going to give you $4 million and not expect anything in return, right? That's the bare minimum. And even now, he could run as a vice president, a candidate for vice president along with Jill Stein, and Jill Stein would take care of all of that administrative stuff that he doesn't want to do. He could go around and still give speeches in barbershops the way that he wants to do and still be on the ticket and still get that $4 million. They're trying to get the $5 million, but he could do everything now that Jill Stein is in the race, if he paired up with her, he could still go around giving his speeches and not have to deal with any of the administrative things that go along with the party.
I discovered that by working in the party. And so, no,
he discovered that by working in the party. See, this is the problem. He's not ready for prime time. You shouldn't have discovered that the first time that you run for president. You should have already learned this. You should have read a book. Maybe you should have run for a smaller office. But for you to just be learning about how party administration functions this late in the game when you're running for president and you don't know anything about politics, and now you want to back out and then you want to sit up here and blame the Green Party because of your lack of, I don't know, initiative to try to find out what's going on. He has no one to blame but himself. He should have taken the initiative to find out. Maybe he should have asked some questions before he accepted that position instead of accepting it and then dropping the ball at the last minute. Remember, the deadline for filing is December 13th. So he dropped the ball and there was no one else to pick up his slack except Jill Stein. Jill Stein didn't even want to run.
I don't envision at all being on the same ticket as Sister Jill. Now, what I would say is this, though, too, which is very important, and that is that the voices raised can be a positive thing.
And I'm not sure what he means by the voices raised, but I'm going to say that the voices raised includes those of us who are going to get to run as Green Party candidates. We're actually going to be on the ballot. So if Jill Stein wasn't running, if the Green Party wasn't going to be on the ballot, none of us would be able to get on the ballot. Cornel West was not offering that because now he's running as an independent. So I'm not sure how he's talking about us having a voice when he's trying to silence our voice by keeping us off the ballot. He's essentially saying that the Green Party should stand down and not Jill Stein shouldn't run and she should support his campaign instead. Okay, what about all of us who want to get on the ballot? What about us? We don't get a voice. We should just bow down to Cornel West and make everything about him.
There's no doubt about that. The voices raised can be very important. That's true for Sister Claudia de la Cruz. I have great respect for the voices raised in that regard. But this talk about, but the Green Party's got all of these ballot access, easy access to these 17 states and so forth, which is.
Here's the thing. There's two ways to get on the ballot. You can either buy your way on the ballot or you can go around collecting signatures, right? In order to buy your way on the ballot, you have to raise a whole lot of money. Now, you can get a whole bunch of volunteers. They can go around collecting signatures. I've tried to do both. Trying to collect signatures is a nightmare. You try to do it during the day. Nobody's at home. Everything is so gerrymandered. So one street may be in your district and then you go right across the street and that's a completely different district. So you go around collecting signatures thinking you're in the same district, but you're not. And then it may be split off. They're not contiguous. Like you're like it may be 2 streets over here, and then you got to drive 2 miles, and then no, it's very difficult to collect signatures because of gerrymandering. So God, I guess that's the approach that he's trying to. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all can say, "Oh, Cornel West has a plan. He knows what he." No, he doesn't. He doesn't. I'm telling you, as someone who has done this, that Cornel West doesn't know what the hell he's doing. If he's trying to gather signatures, it's going to be a damn nightmare.
You know, significant, but it's just too utilitarian. It doesn't have the larger visionary and what would be the right word? Almost immeasurable dimension. You see,
Immeasurable dimension, no vision. No, you were supposed to be the vision. You were supposed to come in as the party, as the person on the top of the ticket, and you were supposed to provide party leadership, right? That is the role of the president, the party leader. So if the Green Party didn't have any vision, it's because you failed to provide it. Immeasurable mention. I have no idea. Immeasurable dimension. I have no idea what he means by that. Again, he doesn't want to build. He, instead of him coming in, providing his insight, because he doesn't have any insight because he has never run a campaign, so he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. But he can still he still is an asset. He still has ideas, right? He still has something to contribute, but he should not be at the top of the ticket because he doesn't know what he's doing. I think Jill Stein should be at the top of the ticket because she's willing to put in the work that he's not willing to put in, and he should run as her vice president. He clearly does not want to do the work.
that we're going to have a good 35 states or 40 by the time we go. 25 states, low-hanging fruit.
He's very naive. He has 15,000 volunteers, allegedly, right? He hasn't even started. He's going to say a little bit later that he's going to start. He's not even starting right now. He's going to wait until the very last minute. He's banking on the fact that he has 15,000 volunteers. That doesn't mean shit. You have 15,000 volunteers. Out of those 15,000 volunteers, maybe 2,000 are actually going to do work, right? Because people will sign up for stuff and say, "Oh, I'll do this, I'll do that." At the end of the day, you're going to be stuck doing it by yourself. So those 15,000 volunteers, I would say maybe only a fraction of them are actually going to put in the work. Maybe they'll show up. Maybe they'll put on a hat, or maybe you can put a flyer on their lawn, but they're not actually going to go out in the street and collect signatures. Gosh, man, I'm not just saying this to be negative, but I have actual experience with this. People talk a good game, and then when it's time to deliver, they don't. So they'll say they're going to deliver, and then they're not going to actually do any work.
It sounds like you're more focused on the movement rather than the mechanism.
I think that's fair. I think that's very, very fair. Or at least I'm concerned about the mechanism. It's just that it's harder for me to have to create the mechanism, but the Green Party as the mechanism, I'm convinced, is not the one for me.
That's because he doesn't want to build. He wants to have it easy, right? He's supposed to be an elite. He's supposed to be the party leader. He was given $4 million to do whatever he wanted with his campaign. He could have came in and turned the Green Party around and make it more. He could have made it more palatable to the Black community, but he wants everything easy. He wants everything handed to him on a silver platter. Gosh, and he had a campaign fundraising manager who has actual experience within the Democratic Party, who actually knew how to raise those mega funds, and he just turned it down. I mean, what a golden opportunity. And this man has a lack of fiscal responsibility. We're going to talk about how he's behind in his taxes and child support. And I'm not doing this to throw him under the bus. The reason I'm doing this is to show the fact that he needs help. And he had help, but he just fucking gave them his ass to kiss, which I think is a huge mistake.
It's just one for me. Now, if
Jill
wants to do that, that's fine. That's fine.
Let me ask you about your campaign specifically in the swing states right now, you're hovering around 1 to 2%. You haven't really started an official campaign where you're, rallies and things like that.
And so we're in real time. That's part of what it is to be jazz like.
You hear that? He's at 1 to 2%. Jill Stein was at 3%. In order to get $10 million in federal campaign funding, they would need to get 5%. So you put Jill Stein and you put Cornel West together, they're more likely to get to that 5%, which is going to give them $10 million automatically. And then they're closer to getting the 15%, which would allow them to participate in national debates. But again, he's playing checkers. He's not playing chess. He's getting all emotional about having to speak to these state delegates. And he doesn't even have to do that because now Jill Stein is running. She can do all the administrative stuff. But again, he's in his feelings because he has his way of doing things. And gosh, there's no strategy whatsoever.
You see, I'm not in any way overwhelmed by or excessively worried about the moment. One reason why we've held off.
He should be overwhelmed because he's out of his debt.
On our massive rallies, that takes a lot of money.
Why is he talking about how much money it takes to manage a campaign when he just walked away from $4 million?
We'd rather spend time with the ballot assets, with the volunteers on the ground. We got almost 50.
Now he wants to talk about ballot access. Well, he already would have had ballot access because the Green Party was on 47 states in 2016. So they were already going to take care of that. He would have had the luxury of just going around giving speeches, right? But here's the thing. He's saying that he's not going to start campaigning. He's going to wait until later. So what is his excuse for not doing the administrative stuff now? You're not even trying to kick off your campaign. You want to sit in your ass until, I don't know, April or whenever it is, maybe June. That's when you have to file your biannual campaign reports. So you're not doing anything right now. You're not even actively campaigning. You're not giving any speeches. What is your excuse for not wanting to do the administrative stuff now? What is your excuse for not wanting to go around speaking to the state delegates?
15,000 volunteers. I'd rather spend time making sure that the timing is such that when we do hit the ground and when we do begin to surface, it's at the right time.
Again, he hasn't even kickstarted his campaign yet. So he has absolutely no excuse for not wanting to do the administrative stuff now, especially when they were going to give him $4 million.
See, I don't want high polls now, and I got a whole year to go. No.
So he's just going to wait to the last minute. This is someone who doesn't have any political savvy. This is not how you manage a campaign.
I want to peak November 2024.
No, because a lot of people make their decisions way before November. You have to hit the ground running way before November if you want to have a chance of making a dent. Gosh, I don't know who is advising this man, but he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. So I want to go to this article by ABC News. Green Party candidate Cornel West owes more than $500,000 in taxes and child support. Hopefully y'all can see this. No, it's not even showing. Okay, there we go. Okay, so Green Party candidate Cornel West owes more than $500,000 in taxes and child support records. Philosopher and presidential Green Party candidate Cornel West currently owes more than $500,000 between unpaid taxes and unpaid child support, according to tax records. Now, it says he's a Green Party candidate, but he already dropped out in October, so he's no longer a Green Party candidate. Records show West owes nearly $466 in federal income taxes from 2016 until 2017. This came after he accrued and later repaid a debt of nearly $725,000 from 1998 to 2005 and more than $34,000 in 2008, according to tax records in Mercer County, New Jersey, where he owns a home. Additionally, he has an outstanding $49,500 child support judgment from 2003 records show. By the way, before I hope y'all can see this. This is his wife. This is the person, if he has a slim chance of winning the presidential election, but if he were to win the presidential election, this is the woman that he would be bringing into the White House. This isn't, you know what? I'm not even gonna go there. I think this is a cheap shot for me to take, but suffice it to say, he would not be bringing a sister into the White House. Y'all can do what y'all want with that. Anyway, let's go back to this article. The tax debts have not been paid off as of 30 days ago. The last available data, according to Mercer County records. ABC News reached out to West in his campaign to see if West had any plans to pay off the debt or set up a payment plan. They have not returned those requests for comment. The outstanding child support payment is owed to I don't even know how to pronounce it. His former partner and mother of his children. ABC News was unable to reach her for comment. While it's not clear how long West didn't pay child support, New Jersey family lawyer Kathleen Stockton said the amount of money appears substantial. The average U.S. child support obligation is about $5,800 per year, according to census data, making West nearly $50,000 more than 8 times that. Stockton noted it is possible that West paid Gertis and didn't register it with the court, though West has given no indication of that. Okay, I'm not going to go too deep into this. Let me just read this last little bit. According to West's financial disclosure filed with the Federal Election Commission in 2023, he currently makes at least $200,000 annually. By the way, he's no longer employed. So that includes his professorship at Union Theological Seminary, where his annual incomes fall between $100,000. His speaking engagements, where he makes at least another $100,000, and his retirement fund, which earns him somewhere between $5,000 and $15,000 annually. His spouse, a professor, makes at least $50,000 per year. Okay, so let's go ahead and listen to this article. This last bit. The federal disclosure law requires candidates for president to report liabilities over $10,000. Child support is excluded, but OGE advises that overdue taxes are reportable. If West, in fact, owes taxes, voters have a right to know why this isn't disclosed. Okay. So that's going to be an issue if he didn't report that. They can actually come after him and fine his campaign, or even there's other sanctions that he could face. Now, let's play this video.
Now to the high-profile dispute over tenure at Harvard that's led star African-American studies and divinity school professor Dr. Cornel West to leave the university. He'll join Union Theological Seminary in New York as a tenured professor this summer, and Professor West joins us now. Dr. West, thank you so much for your time and joining us tonight.
Thank you so very much, and congratulations on your new book. Stay this way forever.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Now, you've held tenured positions in the past at Harvard, Yale, and Princeton, and you've been back at Harvard in non-tenured position for the past 5 years. But the university declined a recent request to be considered for tenure again. Were you given reasons for why you were denied this time? And why did you decide to leave rather than pursue your case?
Well, it's a complicated case in the sense that it was a tenure review that they had denied, and I think they've changed their mind now, but it's too late. And I don't really know exactly why. They said maybe age, but no, that couldn't be the case. I'm giving a gift of lectures in Scotland. It couldn't be academics because I was a university professor at Harvard and Princeton. I was tenured at Yale 37 years ago, so it doesn't make any sense. And so my hypothesis is it might have something to do with politics, but we'd have to check and see on that. I just want to make sure that each and every one of the universities have a fundamental commitment to intellectual freedom and can hold off market pressures so that whatever issues we talk about, I mean, I'm deeply concerned about the Israeli occupation and Palestinian plight predicament, and that's not a popular issue. And I think we have to have a serious, robust, uninhibited conversation about that issue that's respectful. It's not anti-Jewish, but it's not anti-Palestinian either. So that I'm concerned about that.
Well, here's the thing. If he had Jill Stein as a running mate, Jill Stein is Jewish. Jill Stein can say all those things that are anti-Zionist without getting any of the backlash. And if he had her as a running mate, he probably could say those things too. But running separately, running as an independent, no, if he were to criticize Israel, he's going to be considered anti-Semitic. That's the reason why it would actually behoove him to pair up with Jill Stein.
That issue, but I'm concerned about issues across the board. It's got to be intellectual freedom at a Harvard, at a Yale, at a Roxbury Community College, at a University of Chicago, at a Howard or a Spelman, anywhere.
Well, you say you're concerned about that issue. Are you concerned that potentially your support for the Palestinian cause may have cost you tenure?
By the way, y'all, I'm going to be doing a short little video basically advising Black people not to speak up in favor of the Palestinians. I know that you have a strong desire to speak up for the downtrodden, but it's not going to benefit you. I'm not going to give it away. I'm going to do a short little video basically explaining why you should not speak up. It's going to cause you all kind of problems, and it's going to follow you for the rest of your life.
I wonder about that. I know there's other cases recently at Harvard where there's been very high quality scholars. In fact, there was a Jewish Israeli woman, one of the finest scholars, who was very critical of Israeli occupation. She also was denied a tenure position. So that I hope that there's not a pattern setting in that we can't have a serious discussion of this issue. And as you know, it's very delicate because as soon as you raise the issue, you're accused of being anti-Semite, anti-Jewish, and so forth. And
again, he could avoid that problem altogether if he had Jill Stein as a running mate. Jill Stein is Jewish, and Jill Stein is anti-Zionist. So if he partnered with her, he would basically have carte blanche to say whatever he wanted to say about Israel.
And for me, I'm fundamentally committed to Jewish humanity, and I fight against any kind of anti-Jewish hatred. But I am just as committed to Palestinian humanity as I am to Jewish humanity.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream now. I just wanted to, the only reason why I'm showing that clip is to show his lack of fiscal responsibility. This is someone who was given $4 million by the Green Party, and he decided to walk away. You never walk away when there's money on the table. So his personal finances are in a mess. He owes taxes. He's in arrears when it comes to child support, and he just resigned from Harvard. So all of these things are going to impact his campaign. I don't know how he's going to raise the money. I don't know how he's going to get those signatures. But this is someone who doesn't have a lot of political experience. So he's very naive to think that he's going to be able to just pull this off easily. So I'm going to try to do another live stream maybe tomorrow about reparations. So Check out for that, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.